When I saw the previews for this season, I thought the plot would be Elon Musk races to Mars. But now it's looking a lot more like Gabe Newell. I'm Gayfesh, and today we'll be talking For All Mankind, Season 3, Episode 2, Game Changer. But before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Spoilers ahead. With the Polaris disaster having investors panicking, Karen takes an offer from Dev Agyesa, the CEO of Horizon. He sees an opportunity to convert Polaris into a ship to Mars and pays top dollar for the company. I gotta say though, if Polaris started to fall apart at 4 Gs, can it really withstand the sustained thrust required to get to Mars? Building something for low Earth orbit versus interplanetary travel is like the difference between a smart car and a tractor trailer. I also noticed that there's another difference between our timelines. Dev says that in Kenya, Harambe means stronger together. Meanwhile, in our timeline, Harambe means keep an eye on your fucking kid at the zoo. But Dev brings this up because he sees the nationalization of space travel as furthering political divisions, considering there was a brief shooting war on the moon, and he thinks private enterprise can solve it peacefully. Yeah, totally, dude. We certainly don't have a history of colonialism and exploitation and genocide with trading companies or anything. For fuck's sake, Elon Musk wants to bring indentured servitude to Mars. While Margot is off on vacation, Molly decides to do an end run around her and picks Ed for Mars 96, with Danny on the backup crew before she leads Mars 98. Ed is obviously ecstatic over it, and he invites Kelly to be on his crew. We learn that Kelly had done some time in space already on Skylab, but she's studying microbes in Antarctica at the moment. But of course, she agrees to go. Danny breaks the news to her husband, who seems a bit relieved that she won't be going on the first mission, both for her safety and because by the time 98 rolls around, their kid will be out of high school. Of course, once Margot returns and finds out what Molly's done, she undoes it, gives the job to Danny, and fires Molly, putting the job of astronaut selection in the hands of a committee rather than a single person. Ed and Molly are furious, of course, and Ed even implies to Danny that she was picked just because she's black. Not a great way to treat your friend, dude. She supported you when it was gonna be you. Ed drunkenly drives over to Karen's house to mope about losing Mars, pointing out how by the time the next mission rolls around, he'll be 70 and there's no chance they'll put him out there. Karen likewise is feeling like she's lost her legacy with the failure of Polaris, and I'm just sitting here like, y'all are rich white people having rich white people problems. You've both been to space, shut up about building a legacy. Danny, by the way, is still not over Karen despite literally getting married. He confesses to her that he picked the song at the first dance because of her, and he's apparently still stalking her at her home. Ellen wants to pick John McCain as her running mate because of his more socially liberal views, but her husband points out that she needs a running mate that broadens her base and isn't a clone of her, so they end up going with Governor Bragg, a far-right evangelical. She tells him that she expects him to support her policies even when he disagrees with them, to which he agrees and calls her an American hero. Something tells me he's gonna find out she's gay, though. Aleida is now on the moon, so she can more directly work on the Mars rocket, but it's clear that her father's mental state is declining when she calls him, and it feels like that's going to be her main story through line this season. Karen goes to Horizon to meet with Dev again, who offers her a job at the company. The whole place is horizontally structured so there's no hierarchy and decisions are made democratically, which gives it a very Gabe Newell early Valve vibes. She pitches to them that if they want legitimacy and experience, they should hire Ed to command their own mission to Mars, and the company overwhelmingly votes in favor. To really stick it to the US and Russia, Horizon announces that their Mars mission will launch in '94, a full 2 years early. Looks like the race is on. So what do you think of the episode? Let me know in the comments below.
Molly was smoking pot in the bathtub, but we still didn't see Wayne. Give us our cuddly and wise hubby back!
Be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and share the video with your friends. Subscribe to my Patreon to get shouted out in future videos. Check out my Bandcamp for banging tunes, including all the tracks you heard in this video. Follow me on Twitter at GayestFesh, and don't forget to check out my podcast, The Rest of Both Worlds, where I go through Star Trek The Next Generation with a friend who's never seen it. Thank you to all my patrons, with a special shout out to Piftle Cakes and Renee Vorbeck. Your support is greatly appreciated. See you all in the next video.